Hello there. We're going to talk about our hero again, Antoine Gombeau Chevalier de Marais. In class, we discussed how he had a game where he would roll a die and try to get a 6 given 4 attempts, and made a bunch of money playing that game. And then eventually he changed it, so he was rolling 2 dice and tried to get double 6s given 24 attempts. And he really felt that he needed a 25th attempt, and he didn't understand why. It was just his gambler's intuition, but we're going to see why that must be the case. So, first thing we're going to figure out is what is the probability of getting double 6s. And unless I know this off the top of my head, maybe I sketch a little sample space of the 2 dice. Die 1, die 2, divide it. There are 6 outcomes for both of those, and go through with your 1, 1, dot, 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 dot. Now 6, 6 is this square down here. 6, 6. So there's only one of them, and these are equally likely. The dice are independent of one another. They are fair dice. So our probability of getting it is 1 out of 36. So on average, it should take 36 rolls, but he's only allowing himself 24. And that should be enough. Well, actually, 25 should be enough. So, how to view this kind of problem? As a winning problem, it's actually rather difficult given all the overlaps, because you're looking at, well, what's the probability that he gets this on the first attempt, plus what's the probability that he first gets it on the second attempt, so he didn't get it and then he does, versus, and then the probability that he gets it on the third attempt for the first time, so he didn't, and then he does. So he could get it on the first, or the second, or the third, or the fourth, or the fifth, or the or the 24th. And given all of those ors, that's a really, really long addition problem. So I would much rather view it as a multiplication problem with the word and. So I'm going to view it, this is actually the probability that he loses. So the probability that he loses is the probability that he doesn't get it on the first, and he doesn't get it on the second, and he doesn't get it on the third, and he doesn't get it, and he doesn't get it on the 24th. And all of these ands mean that I can use the multiplication rule, because I can multiply probability he doesn't get it on the first times the probability he doesn't get it on the second, times the probability he doesn't get it on the third, so on and so forth. And it's okay to do that because these rolls are independent of one another. The dice have no memory. Just because he hasn't rolled double boxcars yet doesn't mean he's any more or less likely to get double double 6s on his next roll. So, using the multiplication rule, probability that he doesn't get it on the first times probability he doesn't get it on the second, so on and so forth, all the way down to that not getting it on that 24th attempt. And I know that the probability that he doesn't get it on the first attempt is, well, he has a 1 in 36 chance of getting it, so he has a 35 over 36 chance of not getting it on that first attempt. And then he has the same 35 over 36 chance of not getting it on the second attempt, and the same 35 over 36 chance of not getting it on the third attempt, and that goes all the way down to not getting it on the 24th attempt. And that is a big string of multiplication with a lot of 35 over 36s. How many are there all in all? I got 1, 2, 3, all the way down to 24. So I am multiplying 35, 36 by itself 24 times. I can take the exponent and evaluate that. So we got a 50.86% chance here, but now we got to remember that this is the probability of losing. So his probability of winning is going to be the complement of that. So as we see here, this game was not in his favor. He only had a 49.14% chance of winning. So he really felt that he needed a 25th attempt, and it turns out when you look at the numbers, he did. If we're doing 20, oops, that should be different there, not 24, now we want to go to the 25th attempt. There's a probability of winning given 25 rolls, and evaluate that. But sadly, the 25 attempts was not the game that he was playing, which actually would have been in his favor, but he was doing this one with only 24 attempts, and lost all of his money. Tragedy for all. Character and Scholarship for Life.